Tonight on the Cove After Dark, we host Alex Miller, creative director and co-founder of For Those Who Sin, a local LA apparel lifestyle brand taking creativity to new heights. Plus, we get a special live performance with Eric Wilson from Sublime and his new band Spray Out. Sit back and grab your favorite drink. Welcome to the Cove After Dark.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
This place is insane, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. This is where all the magic happens.
How long you guys been here for?
Just a little over 3 years.
It's awesome.
So, yeah, it's been a blessing.
So how did the brand start? How did you come up with the name, concept?
In 2015, we started in Cleveland, Ohio with me and my business partner. We were going and buying vintage stuff and then repurposing it, whether we were cropping the bottom or cutting the sleeves the way we wanted or changing the colors of the sleeves and using bleach techniques and then using Dremel tools on the collars and stuff like that. That's kind of where it went. And then, I kind of saw that go one direction. I was like, I want to go the other way. I want to actually take the stuff that I'm creating in terms of my artwork and apply that to apparel. So I started that in about 2018.
You guys are making some serious noise in fashion right now.
I appreciate it, man. It's crazy to think when you're so locked in and focused on, one thing, you don't necessarily know whether it's the impact or that people are talking around you, but then, we see your pieces here, this person's talking about it, this person, I'm like, damn, that's crazy, you know what I mean? Because I'm just in my own little zone with like blinders on, trying to go as fast and far as possible, but I just try to stay authentic to who I am and what we do.
Yeah.
If you want to take a seat, let's chop it up a little bit more.
Let's do it, man.
Take one, marker.
Do you feel like creativity is your driving force?
I think living is my driving force. I think experiences are my driving force. I mean, it's cliche as it is to say, like, life is short, bro. We don't know what the fuck is gonna happen tomorrow. We might as well get out there and like live life, and then all the stuff that I created are just takeaways from like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like a T-shirt is a takeaway from the event that we did or whatever, and that's kind of how I view the brand. Is like we're trying to create experiences and moments.
One thing I want to dive into is everything For Those Who Sin tells a story.
Yeah.
Your posts,
Yeah.
your videos are just insane.
Yeah.
Like some of your campaigns, they're so captivating, small films almost.
I appreciate it.
When do you feel like that concept started to formulate, and do you feel like there was a catalyst when you really started to notice it?
Yeah, I mean, it started to formulate when I was a kid, man. I've been watching movies my whole life, and I just love cinematography and things like that. So I've always wanted to create these visual representations around ideas that I've had. And I don't think there's necessarily a catalyst. Like, it's all small steps that lead up to these bigger moments. I haven't had something where it was like, holy shit, that was like the catalyst that popped everything off. It's like, I've been going at this for years, you know what I mean? And it's like one small step. I'm chipping away and chipping away and chipping away and just continually refining the craft and honing my skills and getting better and better and better, and luckily surrounding myself with better people that are as hungry as I am and way more talented many times than I am at doing things. So
yeah, and collaboration, speaking of them, I mean, the one that you've done with Tough Crowd is insane. This is the second time that you've collaborated with them, right?
Yeah, right.
And then you also collaborated with Jaden, so it's pretty obvious that you're taking from other inspirations.
Yeah.
How do you think that these are turning into almost marriages?
I don't really push that hard to like do collaborations. In Jaden's case or Tough Crowd's case, it's like we just end up vibing with each other and we're on kind of the same wavelength in terms of aesthetics or what we're trying to do with our careers or our brands or our personal relationships and stuff like that. And we're like, it'd be cool to put something out together. You're great at this, I'm great at this. Let's see if we can dive into something together and both benefit from it. So it's been cool, and been totally blessed to have some awesome people that really are fans of the brand, and vice versa, been fans of other people and been able to work with some really fucking awesome people.
It's super cool. So what type of message do you hope that For Those Who Sin builds for your legacy, for up-and-coming fashion designers, other fashion brands? What's that message that you want to push or create?
People always tell me like, I want to do this, but I'm not that creative, or I can't draw, or I can't do this. It's like those excuses and stuff, people are always making them for themselves. I think everybody's creative in some way or another, you know what I mean? Like maybe you can't draw, but you can't draw now, but I guarantee if you picked up a pencil and drew every single day, you could draw, you know what I mean? It's like, I think even in the day and age that we're right now, it's like, it's so cool to see, you know, our parents going from car assembly lines or behind desks and cubicles, and look at all of us. We're our own bosses doing our own things. Like seeing people open up new doors and forge new ways is like, people are finally understanding that can happen. And it's not out of the question, you know what I mean? But it takes hard work and dedication and time to refining a craft, and not thinking that you're gonna pick up a pencil and be fucking amazing at it the first time you put it on the piece of paper. But if you continually work at it, then you're gonna get good. So, you know, I guess long story short, that I think people don't give themselves enough credit.
I mean, there's creativity in everything. You could be creative with doing the dishes if you fucking want to. You know what I mean?
Dude, if I'm washing the dishes, I want to be the best fucking dishwasher here. You know what I mean? Like, go through life and it's just like, I'm just doing this and it's mundane or whatever, but like how you do anything is how you'll do everything. Like, why not be good at what the fuck you do? Like, if that's your position, you chose to do that job, kill it and then move on to the next thing. Like, you can be great at doing everything, but you just have to like reframe your way of thinking, you know what I mean? Like, why not be the best street sweeper, you know?
This is like a fashion entrepreneur Disneyland for me, so thank you so much for letting me in here and showing me, but let's take it back to the Cove and get to know you a little bit more.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All right. Oh, my car's way the fuck up.
You guys always got a band playing out there or what?
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but we'll see what happens.
Sick, I love it.
Some mezcal?
Yes, sir. I'm with it. It's on the rocks, my man.
All right. Oh,
Beautiful.
cheers, man. Welcome to the Cove.
Appreciate it.
You shoot any dice?
Yeah, I was just looking up how to play sevens. You know how to play sevens?
No, teach me.
I don't know. That's why I was just looking it up.
I know craps, street craps, that's about it.
Let's do it. If you can teach me, let's go.
Okay, hit it. You're the guest.
Almost.
Two?
Exactly. I like these dice though. These are sick.
They are. Dude,
So the cross is the 1,
Yep.
and the bunny's fucking is the 3.
Yep.
Fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here at the Cove After Dark. You met him at his HQ in downtown LA. Please welcome the creative powerhouse, co-founder of For Those Who Sin, making waves here in LA and across the country, Mr. Alex Michael Miller.
How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you again.
Got some mezcal right there for you.
Oh yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you for coming in.
Of course, thanks for having me.
We really appreciate it. It was crazy to see your workspace and everything that you've built.
Thank you.
You have a pretty crazy story of coming out to LA.
Yeah, I do.
You ended up working with a very big fashion brand out here. How did that all come to fruition?
Started me leaving my job in Cleveland, Ohio. Called my sister on a Wednesday and said, hey, I'm coming to Nashville. She lived in Nashville at the time. Quit my job the next day, drove to Nashville. And then I was wanting to get in the fashion industry, and I quickly realized that was not going to happen. There's just like not so much fashion related things to do in Nashville. So I just got on the internet and was just searching around, and I found a brand that was looking for an intern, and I got on there and just started chatting with them. They were like, can you come in for an interview like 2 days later, and do you live in LA and have transportation? I said, yes, I live in LA, I have transportation. And then I flew in for an interview, and they were like, cool, yeah, we like you. When could you start? I was like, I can start whenever. And they're like, could you start today? And I was like, sure. Internship lasted for like 4 or 5 days, and somebody had left their retail store downtown. So I was like, I want that position or whatever. He's like, we're going to interview people for the next couple weeks, And I was like, no, I'll take the position. And like the next few days, I just kept pushing him until they finally gave me a shot. And then I worked under him for 8 months and didn't want to get complacent or comfortable. So I was like, I appreciate all the information and knowledge, but I want to go do the exact same thing. So I was like, I feel like I got to throw myself in the fire. So I left there and just started playing around with taking my, artwork stuff that I was drawing and started putting it on, just blanks. Like I was just buying Gildan and Independent, whatever blanks that I could find, vintage t-shirts. I'd take vintage t-shirts, flip them inside out and print on them that way, sew my own labels in, and it became like my own little personal touches to things. From that point, it was just like, I met a guy who owned like a creative agency where I went in and just started chatting with them for a little bit, and they were asking me, just about myself, what I'm trying to do, that kind of stuff. And I brought like these 4 sample pieces, 2 t-shirts and 2 hoodies, and I hung them on the rack, and it was like all these other brands that I was like aspiring to be like were in the showroom, and I just left them on the rack, and I left I was like, hopefully something happens. I don't know. I don't even think that he realized that I left him there. And then 3 days later, he calls me and he's like, hey, did you know you left your samples there? And I was like, oh shit, my bad, I'll come get them or whatever. And he's like, oh, well, it's funny that you forgot them because, the past 3 days, it's like all these stylists have been like wanting to pull it and stuff like that. And he's like, I hope you don't mind. Like I let a few people pull it for, video shoots or whatever. And I was like, hell yeah. And he's like, well, what are you trying to do with this thing? And I was like, honestly, dude, I'm just trying to like start this brand, and he's like, I think I can help you. And 2 months later, I printed some more samples, hand painted some custom jackets, and we flew to Paris and booked like $50,000 in orders. Just off the strength of me being next to all these other brands. Like they already had this showroom. Buyers from stores would just be in there and they'd stumble over in the corner and be like, what's this guy got going on? And I would, get up and kind of tell them my story and give them my elevator pitch about, what I was doing. And I think that some of them were like, well, this is cool. Like maybe this is going to be something big one day or whatever, and gave me a shot. And then I had no idea how I was even going to produce this shit. They're writing orders and shit like that, sending deposits. And then I flew back to LA and was like, fuck, I got to make all this product. And then I hooked up with a buddy of mine and who was helping me make the product. And then, kind of the rest is history. And we kind of just like kept the ball rolling from there. So that's kind of how it started.
Well, that fucks up my next question because I was literally going to ask you, were you guys like set up or were you just flying by the fucking seat of your pants?
No, flying by the seat of our pants, bro. It was like a similar situation to like when I flew to LA. Like I didn't have the money to fly to Paris, put it on a credit card. And we had to put all of our samples and all of our own clothes in 2 suitcases. We didn't have money to get more suitcases. So everybody was like, this is the coldest winter we've had in 10, 20 years in Paris. And we have like 1 jacket and like a t-shirt and some pants, and him and I just keep swapping like fits, so we're like, at least we're wearing something different, but he's wearing what I was wearing yesterday and I'm wearing what he was wearing yesterday. It was a fucking wreck, but it was such a riot. I mean, we were out there partying. I lost my phone the first day, but that's kind of how Paris is. I mean, the party scene is crazy, and it's just building those relationships. I mean, those relationships I built from that point are people I'm still working with to this day.
So you went from quitting your job to going to Paris, people putting in orders.
Yeah.
You guys didn't have manufacturing set up, anything.
Not at all.
Just figuring it out.
Just figuring it out. I still do that to this day. As like people are like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? I'm like, dude, I just do it and figure it out after the fact. You know what I mean? Or do it and fuck it up and then figure it out like how not to do it. So yeah, there's not necessarily like a plan or rhyme or reason for everything always. It's just like, how bad do you want it?
I think we could use a little touch up here on the drinks.
Yes, sir.
I've got my good friend Maria here from Ilegal Mezcal. Maria, where are you at?
What's up?
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
Thank you for taking some time out of your schedule.
Of course.
What do you got for us?
Some repo today, which is my favorite, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Some repo and neats. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
You want to take a seat and chop it up with us a little bit?
Yes, let go.
I was just going to talk to Alex here about some current day stuff. For Those Who Sin is building a ranch in Joshua Tree, which is pretty cool. You want to tell us a little bit about that, what you guys are aiming for?
Yeah, so we kind of wanted to build more of an experience space for our customers. I think you were just at the studio. And basically our studio is like it's really a visual representation of what the brand is. People can come see, and feel, smell, taste everything that, we represent. So I felt like the next step was to have more of an extension of that and really have this desert oasis that people can come and enjoy, bring friends, family, throw events. If you guys ever want to come throw an event out there,
Sounds badass.
it's in the middle of the desert out there. So putting a pool in, getting a bunch of toys out there, getting a bunch of sponsors and people involved. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. So yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit more about this this Ilegal Mezcal. Which one do you recommend? I know you guys got quite a few different ones.
Yeah, we have our Joven, our Reposado, and the Añejo. My personal favorite is this Repo.
This is the one,
Dude,
huh?
I love having it in my coffee.
This is good, yeah.
I make it a Oaxacan coffee. So just
Black
add some-
coffee with this?
And some like heavy whipping cream, some 2 sugar cubes.
Damn,
It's
alright.
I'll make
Ooh,
you some
give
if
it
you
a little
want, dude.
cheap
It's so
fire.
fucking bomb. It's
Yeah, I
so
like
good.
that, I
So
like
that's
that.
my personal favorite.
I love it.
It used to be an illegal mezcal
Okay.
being sold at a bar in Guatemala
Sick.
called Café No Sé in Antigua. The owner actually was smuggling mezcal from Oaxaca to stock his bar
Oh,
in
shit.
Guatemala.
I love the story though. There's a real story behind it. You know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
backbone to the brand, and I love it.
Yeah, so we like to do a lot of tattoo shows, music shows. That's why we think it's like really in line
Yeah.
with your brand, obviously. But
Yeah.
we're just all about it. Like
Yeah.
Bar Ilegal, we just did a whole tour. They're still touring actually right now, so hitting a bunch of different spots in the U.S.
Hell yeah. Well, congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thanks. It's fun.
That's
It's fun
amazing.
working with them. So, what kind of music are you into?
I'm all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up in Texas, and my mom sang country music, so I was always hopping around country music bars. And then it was just like when I was a teen, it was like anti-country. It was like hip hop, and then I went all over the spectrum. But now it's like the older I get, the more I get back to my roots, and so.
I'm not a big country fan, but I feel like if you're at a concert, next thing you know, you're two-stepping and you're like,
Dude.
what the fuck is going on right now?
True.
That's what I love about country music festivals or concerts. It's like there's no other genre of music who does it like that, where it's like truly people are just there to like party and have fun.
I mean, speaking of country,
Yeah.
speaking of parties, we've been doing a little thing here at the Cove. We like to play some games now. So I was
do it.
thinking of challenging you to a little bit of beer pong, but it's Cove Pong.
Let's do it. 3 cups.
Yay! Let's get her going. Fuck this! I don't even get to go? Forward. Oh, fuck. All right, man. I'm a man of my word, so here's a
Oh,
gift
yeah.
from Ilegal and the Lost Cove.
Appreciate it from the both of you.
Excuse my mess, but we appreciate you coming on so much, man.
Yes, sir.
Do you hear that?
I think that's the band.
Yeah, that's your other surprise. So we do have a little band lined up for you.
Let's
It's
go.
the season finale. You want to go check them out?
Check it out.
Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of the Ilegal Music Corner. I'd like to introduce our very special guests, a legendary musician, Eric Wilson from Sublime, and the one and only Spray Allen. Take it away, boys.
I've been on the road, numbing to the cold, severed lonely traces, feeding lonely faces, Caesar in the throat, we just wanna grow. I cannot escape it, risk of looking basic, truly no one knows how to be alone. When they're from the snow, where the devils roll, no mirrors in a maze, let me out the cage, went to hail Satan while the light is fading. Found you on my way down, said the pretty lady. How many of the rats you don't really wanna know? Ghetto baby, I found you on my way down, said the pretty lady. How many of the rats you don't really wanna know? Ghetto baby, running, roll, got it on the low, tipping on my toes, heavy on my soul. Damn near got it close when the levee broke, dealt a fatal blow. When we fell in love, sleeping all alone, while the mother moaned, deep inside me own. 16 altercation, valley wanna break. All I wanna say, probably wanna crack up, ready for disaster. Found you on my way down, said the pretty lady. How many on the fast you don't really wanna know? Ghetto lady, found you
Thank you guys so much. That was amazing. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and you bet your asses we're going to be back for a season 2. See you next time.